Hi guys, welcome back. Hope you all had a good Christmas and New Year. I've been taking a bit of time off over the holidays to just kind of enjoy Christmas and recover from Christmas a bit. My light has just died on here, in case you're wondering why the lighting's a bit weird. Yeah, I just set this thing up and the light died. So it's weird because I haven't really used it that long. So I don't know why the batteries ran out already, but some people think spirits drain batteries. Or maybe it's just a bit crap. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, so there's a few things I want to talk about today. I'm at home because the weather's not been so great. It is January. I'm hoping to get out and about sooner or later. It's a bit tricky because I don't have a car. But yeah, and it's been like freezing last week. It was like 0. So it is tricky to get out and about. So I'm at home again today. There's a few things I want to talk about the S-Box. I've been doing a bit more investigating over the Christmas holidays, and yeah, there's a lot more stuff that's come up that I want to talk about. I have done a few more sort of tests on this, and again we'll test this at the end of this vlog, and I hope they're not going to be camera shy this time, because the last 2 vlogs I've done at home, like hardly anything has come through this, which is really weird because normally when I test it I get quite a bit. So if that happens again and this is really quiet, that will be a trend and that will be interesting. But I do have a few other sessions on this that I've recorded that I want to show you and play you some clips of, because I got some interesting stuff. So to start off, yeah, my last vlog was about sort of discussing debunkers and the things they kind of say about the S-Box. But the thing I wanted to address at the start of this one is that very few debunkers seem to be focusing on spirit boxes. And I'm not just talking about the S-Box now, but spirit boxes in general. There's a few different makes, and I don't have a preference, I just happen to own this one, but I think they all pretty much do the same thing. But yeah, I don't see many debunkers tackling this. The apps, yes, because I think they're very easy to debunk. I've tried apps. I've not had anything that would suggest an intelligent conversation through them, so I don't think they work. But this is a different matter, so I would kind of like to see more debunkers actually kind of talking about this kind of thing, because I think it's a very difficult thing to debunk. One of the things I have heard, one of the criticisms I have heard about this that I want to address is this idea that, you know, when it comes to transcribing this, people only hear what they want to hear. That's the criticism, you know, that you sort of hear what you want to hear and make it fit. And I think that's completely wrong, especially when it's sort of also implied that therefore people are faking because of that. I think that's completely misguided. I used to work in transcription, funnily enough. I used to do audio typing, so you listen through headphones to an audio file and then you type it up, and it's one of those jobs, it's harder than it sounds. Sometimes you get like files with people with really strong accents and you're like, oh my god, what have they said? So then you have to like go over it and over it and over it and over it, and then you're like, ah, that's it, and then you get it. So I'm only mentioning this because after a while it sort of trained my brain up to be able to like hear and understand things like that, and again the going back over it. So when I transcribe this, I always use the SD card. I haven't seen any other investigators doing that, and I wish they would, because the SD card, you hear so much more, honestly, through that. You do have to go back and get the file and listen to it at home, but what I do is, when I do that, I turn the volume up as high as I can comfortably bear, and then it's like, that's when you hear all the stuff, that's the quiet stuff that's like underneath. And that's the really interesting stuff, because that's where a lot of the intelligent responses come from on this. The stuff that's like just, not so much the stuff that you really hear loudly, but the stuff that's just underneath that you probably wouldn't hear in real time. So I'd like to see more investigators using the SD card. You get really good stuff when you do that, because I hear hardly anything in real time, as we see at the end of this. And then when I go back, then it becomes really clear, because again I go over it and play it again, play it and play it. With regards to the criticism of just hearing what you want to hear, so I sometimes mishear it in real time. Sometimes I think I know what it says and it will make sense, and then I'll go back to the audio file, and what it actually says makes less sense sometimes, but I will always go with the most accurate version because this channel isn't about fakery. I have no time for that at all. You will find no fakery on this channel. I just want to get to the bottom of what this is and if it's something we can speak to spirits with, because if so, that's pretty mega. So, you know, there's no point. I make no money from this channel. I am not promoting this. The only thing I'm interested in is what's real. So yeah, even if I do the transcription and come up with something that fits less than what I originally thought it was, I will always put what I think is the most accurate translation in, not what necessarily makes sense. So there's that. And yeah, of course people aren't fakers. If they are transcribing things slightly wrong, you know, that's kind of attributing negative intent to people when it just isn't there. Okay. And yeah, this idea that you can sort of mishear things. I've heard examples presented of, you know, I don't know if anyone remembers like the Laurel Yanny thing that was like a few years back. Some people hear Laurel, some people hear Yanny, and it's the same sound clip. So that kind of thing has been presented as an example of why this could be so misleading, which I think is sort of a fair criticism. But then things like the Laurel Yanny thing are so rare, and I think that does need to be acknowledged. Like, that went viral about 7 years ago. Like, remember like the blue, black, white, gold dress thing? These things are rare. You don't come across it very often, or if you did, it'd be going viral all the time. So the idea that we're always mishearing things because people misheard this one thing 7 years ago, it's like, no, that's not what's happening. Generally, our brains are quite reliable. Incidentally, I did listen to the Laurel Yanny thing, and I could only hear Laurel, and I checked it, and that was the original word. So I'm like, yay, transcribing win. So maybe, I don't know. But I think it's something to do with frequency as well. I think younger people hear higher frequencies. So that is something, you know, a valid point actually that needs to be taken into account when doing things like this, whether your age and whether the extent of you know, the damage to your ears from listening to music or whatever, potentially, whether that could factor in what you hear. But at the same time, I think these auditory illusions, visual illusions, are generally pretty rare, and I don't think they should be used as an argument to discount what people hear through this. Okay, what's next? Yeah, I wonder about, I keep hearing like the same 3 voices through this, which interests me, because again, one of the major criticisms is that, oh, it's just picking up things from the radio. Some of it may be radio, I'm not saying all of it's paranormal, but if I do a fuller debunk of this in my last vlog, discussing the is it or isn't it the radio thing, but something else came up, which is that, and I've noticed this over the holidays as well, I keep hearing like the same sort of 3-ish, the same few voices coming through this. Now, either the same radio presenters are doing some serious overtime, because I keep hearing this at all times of the day, weekends, Christmas Day, whatever, I keep hearing these same voices. And yeah, I don't know, should I like colour code what comes through in each voice so each person has their own colour code? Let me know in the comments below if you think colour coding would help, because then you can let me know whether you're hearing the same thing as I am or whether you think it's the same voice or something else. But it is weird. And where are we? I have notes here because knowing me, I'll forget something if I don't check my notes. Let's have a look. Yeah. So the big question I really want to ask in this vlog is, can spirit boxes like the S-Box be used to help solve crimes and mysteries? Because if they could, that would be pretty amazing. Crimes where, you know, people get murdered and they're never found, or nobody knows who did it. I want to know what capacity, whatever it is that's communicating with us through this, I don't want to make any claims about what's communicating with us through this, but something I think is, if they could potentially help with something like that, because that would be groundbreaking if so. And I've sort of tested the waters on this, but, and this is a really big but here, there are some serious ethics around doing that kind of thing and investigating in that kind of area. I saw one team doing using this to investigate sort of the Moors murders in those locations, and they got some really interesting stuff through. Now, those were historical crimes back in the 60s, and most of the people that were involved in that have now passed on, so I think in those instances it can be really interesting to try and use this to see if they can find any new leads. But I think where it's sort of like a fresh, particularly high profile case, well, not even that, I mean anything fresh and new where you've got people grieving, people suffering, you know, I feel very strongly that people's personal tragedies is not YouTube entertainment, and so there's a very fine line I think people need to cross when it comes to investigating this kind of thing. So I keep everything anonymous and vague, but at the same time I think it is an avenue we should pursue, because I just kind of want to see what's possible. Like, I just want to test what can you do with this thing, what gets results, can it be used to help society? Like, that would be amazing if it could. So yeah, but there are so many rocky areas around it, so as you'll see in the things I'm about to show, I keep things as vague as possible because again I don't want to upset anybody. Yeah, so one place I did manage to get out to during the holidays, I did a brief recording on this which I'm going to show you now, was my local park. And I used to play there when I was a kid, and this was a very long time now, going back a bit now, and I heard that somebody took their own life sort of nearby. So that was something that I did quickly mention during the session to sort of see if any info came through. I'll play you that session now, yeah, so you can get an idea. There was some interesting stuff coming through, so I'll play that now. Okay, so I'm here at a park today, and this is my daughter testing out her new scooter that she got for Christmas. And I just thought I'd do a quick S-Box session, just to kind of see if there are any spirits here. It's just my theory that spirits might be everywhere, I don't know. But okay, just a quick session. See what we get. I'm recording it. Are there any spirits here? I'd like to communicate. Okay. I don't have this too loud because there's a brook down here. I heard about something that happened down there a long time ago. Can you tell me what happened?
It's one of the Brits.
Any noise? Anything else to say?
Times.
Oh, here we go. Been here a while this time, so opened in 1990. So you can hear the fever in the ground.
Fine, look.
I used to play here when I was little. Was there any place in London? I've seen more things here now.
Oh.
How's everyone doing? Anyone on you? Okay, thank you for talking to me. Anything you want to say? Sorry, So yeah, that was an interesting session. I don't actually know any information about the man that's supposedly unalived himself, or whether it's even true. It was just something I heard at the time. Yeah, another session I did was on Christmas Day, because I was interested to see whether the spirits would have anything to say on Christmas Day. Now, Merry Christmas does come through a couple of times, so I know what the skeptics are going to say. They're going to say everybody's saying Merry Christmas on the radio on Christmas Day, and fair enough. I will I will take that. But some snippets came through that were interesting. And again, what I look out for is when you have two separate bits that line up to make sense. Because if it was just stuff randomly coming through the radio, that shouldn't line up to make a complete sentence. And I talk about this in my other vlog, how it's sort of like when it's coherent like that, it shouldn't do that if it's just radio snippets. So yeah, have a listen to these clips. I didn't record this, so this is just taken straight from the audio file. So I don't know, this may be noisy, just a bit of a headphone warning.
Christmas.
So yeah, I'm gonna do a session on my birthday, and if they wish me happy birthday, that will be interesting. Well, my birthday's not until June, so I've got a while to wait yet, but yeah, it's interesting. And then sort of in the holidays after Christmas, going back to the sort of can it solve crimes and mysteries things, there was a bit of an incident in my area. Like, it was like a bit late at night, and then there were all these sort of ambulances and police cars and like people very distressed in the street. I don't want to say any more than that because it's not my business. But again, I thought, I wonder if this might be able to shed any light on what's happened. So keeping this as vague and anonymous as possible, this was the session I recorded, just asking some questions about that. Okay, so I'm just trying to find out what happened last night. With all the ambulances and police cars. Somebody died. Can you tell me what happened? There was a lot of something going on last night out here. Do you have any information? Was a crime committed? Can you tell me? where the camera is. Oh. Yeah, so the bit where it said, I'll tell you something, that impressed me, especially after I just asked for like information. So yeah, I think we're at that bit in the vlog where we test this out, and I'm interested to see whether they're going to be happy to talk on camera or not. Alright, let's give this a go. What volume do I even have this at? Oh, we'll soon find out.
Xbox. Scanning FM.
Try and do it a bit louder. The only thing is, when this is on, you can't hear me talk as well, so I have to like really speak up. Alright. Record. And then we press go. Is there anybody there? Anybody want to talk? See, everyone knows you can talk because I just played some clips that prove it. Can you tell me then why you don't like to talk when I'm filming on YouTube? How loud. Why don't you like to talk on camera? Why don't you want to talk? Is there anyone there at all? Is something stopping you from talking? A little bit of something. This is so weird. It never does this unless I have the camera on at home. Can this be used to solve mysteries and crimes? Just say yes or no. Can spirits help with this kind of thing? Absolutely nothing. Can you say anything at all? I'm holding it out here. This is bizarre. Okay, this will be the first time I have nothing at all come through. What is going on? Can you say hello? Oh, there was something there. There was something there. So I know you're here. Hello. Can you just tell me why you don't talk when I'm filming? Do you not like what I'm doing? I'm just trying to understand how this works. Is something keeping you back? I'm gonna have to end this, I think, if I keep getting nothing. It's always when you say you're gonna go. It's always when you say. When I say I'm gonna go, that's when it comes through. Alright, I'm gonna go now. Thank you for talking to me. Bye. Bye. See ya. Oh my gosh, I think that was about 3 things that came through. That is wild. That is 3 times now that I have done these vlogs at home and got hardly anything through this, and every other time that I use it I get quite a bit. So that's a trend. That is this behaving according to my circumstances. We need to test that out more, I think. But so far that is very strange, which would imply, that it's intelligent communication. Let me know what you think. Do you think this is real? Do you think it's intelligent communication? Are you a debunker? Do you have any other debunks that I can try and also debunk? I'm debunking the debunkers. So let me know. Let me know what you think. I'm really interested in people's opinions on this. And if you've enjoyed this vlog, do consider liking and subscribing. I'm a fairly new channel, so it really helps me out. And yeah, love and light to you all. Stay curious. Bye. There's something about being on camera that you don't like. Do you prefer talking like this? Yeah, I can hear things coming through now. Is there a reason you couldn't come through a moment ago? What's preventing you coming through? What's the difference? Really quiet. Something. Okay, I'll just let you talk.